months in music. I'm going to talk about how you can play a song called Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen. And it starts out with an E major chord lick. Kind of normally you do this first finger on the G first fret, second finger on the A second fret, and third finger on the D string second fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an E major chord and it sounds really, really happy. Now through the tune, actually there are a lot of bar chords through this tune if you're going to make the bigger chords, but you may want to scale things down. You can use just power chords to work a lot of these chord ideas. So you could use just the E string and the A string of that for an E5 power chord. Or you could do first finger on the A 7th fret, third finger on the D 9th fret for an E5 power chord. And then from the E, you'll hear this cool little melody line. There's a couple ways you could kind of work this. You could, if you're working around the E major chord, you may want to go second fret on the G string, first fret on the G string, and then lead that to fourth fret on the A string, and then second fret on the D, and then fourth fret on the D. It's kind of that cool little melody actually kind of through the intro. E major. 2, 1, 4, 2, 4, or kind of an E idea, and then an A, G sharp, C sharp, E, F sharp, or if you wanted to kind of work that around the E5 power chord, kind of from 7th to 9th, you may want to kind of start there, and then do that A to G sharp note as kind of a D string 7, and then D string 6th fret, to lead to an A major chord. And normally you do this first finger on the D on the 2nd fret, second finger on the G 2nd fret, third finger on the B 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A major chord and it sounds really happy. And around A majors in general, it can be kind of cool to lift the third finger, make that an A sus2, or you could add in the pinky on the B string, third for an A suspended chord, and kind of say some stuff around that chord. Or if you're digging on the power chord idea, you could just use just the A and the D string of that for an A5 power chord. Or another place to play A5, we'd be doing first finger on the LOWE 5th, third finger on the A string 7 for an A5 power chord. And if you're digging on that voicing actually kind of up the neck actually, and if you do like bar chords, you could work kind of the A major as a 5th fret bar, second finger on the G6, third finger on the A7, pinky on the D7, kind of work that as an A major shape there. And if you dig on that, you might even dig on the E major, kind of doing this as a 7th fret bar, third finger over the D, G, and B strings, and kind of working that as an E major chord. So it might be kind of cool to work it from that E, hit that 7-6 idea, and then hit the A major as a bar. Might be kind of a cool idea. And then from the A, actually we go to a B major chord, kind of for that last little bit of the lick. And normally you could do this a couple different ways actually. You could do it as a B7 chord, kind of first finger on the D 1st fret, second finger on the A 2nd fret, third finger on the G 2nd, pinky on the high E 2nd fret as a B7 chord. Or if you want to jazz it up a little bit, you could take your third finger and kind of lay them over the G, B, and E strings, make that a B9. Or if you're digging on the power chord idea, you could use that as a B5 power chord by doing first finger on the 2nd fret on the A, third finger on the D 4th fret for a B5 power chord. Or if you're digging on the bar chords, you could even bar 2nd fret, third finger over the D, G, and B for a B major chord. Or you could do the bar chord from 7th fret on the low E, third finger on the A9 for a B5, and kind of just take that other A bar shape we were doing, 7th fret bar, second finger on the G on the 8th, third finger on the A9, pinky on the D9, kind of working that for your B major chord. So you could kind of keep it up the neck if you wanted to, kind of E, 7, 6, A major, B major, or you could keep it low if you wanted to. E major, 2, 1, A major, B major. And there's a couple different strumming options you may want to play around with. This is kind of a fast-paced tune, but you could kind of work downs as kind of an idea, kind of E2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, E2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, A, B, or if that seems really quick for you, you may just want to try kind of a 2 down count or 4 down count on each chord. 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, B, 2, 3, 4. Or one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, down, up. So you took the E and just tried that a lot. You'd have down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, down. And a cool variation of that could be through that intro progression. You have intro, we'll be going into our main verse progression, and we kind of start off with that same idea, the E major to the A to the B twice, and then we kind of go back to the A and kind of do a breakdown from A major, and then we go to a G sharp minor. And normally you do this as a 4th fret bar, 3rd finger on the A 6th fret, pinky on the D 6th fret, and if you strum all those together, that sounds a G sharp minor chord. It sounds really sad. Now you may also dig on lifting off the pinky and making that G sharp minor 7, or you could add in the pinky on the B 7th fret for G sharp minor 7, or you could use just the power chord part. You could even start off from the A5 from 5th fret and then just take that shape and slide it down to 4th fret and 6th fret for a G sharp 5, and then from the G sharp we'd be going to an F sharp minor chord. Normally you do the 2nd fret bar, 3rd finger on the A 4th, pinky on the D 4th for an F sharp minor. Or you can lift off the pinky and make that an F sharp minor 7. Or you could add in the pinky on the B 5th for an F sharp minor 7. Or if you're digging on the power chord shape, just kind of starting out, you can do that same shape from 2nd fret, kind of 2nd fret on the low E, 3rd finger on the A string on the 4th fret. That way you can kind of work this like a little power chord walk down. A5, G sharp 5, F sharp 5, G sharp 5, and then we're back to E5, and then we kind of do a big push on a B or a B5, and then we're back to A5, G sharp 5, F sharp, G sharp, and then our E5, but then we go to a C sharp minor, and normally you do this as a 4th fret bar, 2nd finger on the B 5th, 3rd finger on the D 6th, pinky on the G 6th, and if you strum all those together, that sounds a C sharp minor chord. It sounds really sad. Now you may also dig on lifting off the pinky and making that C sharp minor 7, or if you're digging on the power chord solution, you can do 4th finger or 1st finger on the 4th on the A, 3rd finger on the D 6th fret for a C sharp 5 power chord, or if you're digging on the E's or the E string power chord, you could just do that same shape, but from 9th on the low E, 11th on the A. It's kind of a C sharp 5. So you can work a lot of this as just kind of E5 or E string moving around power chord shapes actually. C sharp 5, and then our A5, B5. So you can kind of work that shape all the way through the tune. Or you could use a strum pattern, and then you'd have the E. And then hit the B, kind of for that B7, and then we're back to the A, G sharp minor, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, E major, C sharp minor, A major, B major, and then from there, we'll be going into our chorus, just like our intro part. And one other thing I think about adding to the song though is bass notes. And a lot of times on that first down of the down, down, up, down, up, or the down, up, down, up, down, up, you can throw the bass note in for the chord. So on the E you'd have low E for the bass, on the A you'd have the A for the bass, on the B you'd have the A for the bass, and on the bars for the A bar you'd have the low E for the bass, on the B bar you'd have the low E for the bass, on the G sharp minor you'd have low E for the bass, F sharp minor you'd have low E for the bass, and on the C sharp minor you'd have the A for the bass, kind of working the bar for that. Our chorus with bass notes, you'd have the E, A, B, and then from there, then we're going into our second verse. So we tried that with a bass down, up, down, up. You have the E. hit where you could kind of take the C sharp and we're kind of a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then kind of go to the B. It's kind of like a big hit. C sharp, and then we end up back on the E chord. Then it almost sounds like we turn our B chord into a sad B chord. So instead of B major, you may want to think about B minor at the very end of this, where you could do this as a 2nd fret bar, or you could go B5 and it wouldn't matter. But normally you do B minor as a 2nd fret bar, 2nd finger on the B third, 3rd finger on the D fourth, pinky on the G fourth. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a B minor chord and it sounds really sad. Now you may also dig on lifting off the pinky there and making that a B minor 7. Or another way to play B minor 7, where you're doing 1st finger on the A 2nd, 2nd finger on the G 2nd, 3rd finger on the high E 2nd. So you kind of dig on that B minor 2. So through that last part, you'd have kind of that C sharp hit, and then C sharp, B, E major, and B minor. Or if you're digging on the strum pattern through that part, you could add basses to those too. And what I was digging on for the C sharp B splitting is you may want to do the C sharp minor with kind of a bass and down, up, and then kind of hit the B on the up for that hit. Bass, down, up, B, up, C sharp minor bass, down, up, B, up, kind of deal. So we tried that through that whole solo. We have around the E major to get in that lick, and if you dig on that, on the E major, you could take the pinky and add it in on the G string 2nd fret, which makes it an E suspended chord. So even kind of playing around with that idea on the E chord can kind of get you that intro lick actually when that chorus comes back. Starts on a D major, and normally you do this 1st finger on the G 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the high E 2nd fret, and 3rd finger on the B string 3rd fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord that sounds really, really happy. Now you may also dig on lifting off the 2nd finger, always kind of a dangerous finger to lift, but that makes it D sus 2. Or you get ahead in the pinky on the high E 3rd for the D suspended chord, kind of say some stuff around the D. From the D, we'd be going to or if you're digging on the power chord, you could do the open D and the 2nd fret on the G string as a D5, or you could go 5th fret on the A string, 3rd finger on the D7 for a D5. And then from there, we'd be going to our G major chord. And normally you do this 1st finger on the A 2nd, 2nd finger on the low E 3rd, 3rd finger on the high E 3rd. And if you strum all those together, it sounds a G major chord and it sounds really happy. And you may also dig on putting 3rd finger on the B 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd, and kind of working that for your G major. Or you could use a G5 power chord by doing 1st finger on the low E 3rd, 3rd finger on the A 5th fret, kind of working that G5. And then from the G, we'd be going to an A major chord, kind of through that part, and then we go to a C major chord. Normally you do this 1st finger on the B 1st fret, 2nd finger on the D 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the A 3rd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a C major chord, and it sounds really happy. Now you may also dig on lifting off the 1st finger, making that a C major 7. Or you could add in the pinky on the B 3rd for the C major 9 and kind of say some stuff around the C. Or you may dig on a C major 9, where you can do 1st finger on the D 2nd, 2nd finger on the A 3rd, 3rd finger on the B 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd for the C. And if you dig on that voicing randomly, you may want to think about an A 7 sus for the A, or you could do first finger on the D second, second finger on the G second, third finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third. And that might kind of make that a little bit easier, just kind of being able to kind of work the D sus even to the G, to the A7 sus, to the C, through that part. It might kind of make that a little bit easier. Or you could use a C5 power chord for the C, where you could do first finger on the A third, third finger on the D fifth, and kind of work that as a C5. And then we end up kind of repeating that idea twice, and then we go to an F major chord. And normally you do this as a first fret bar, second finger on the G second, third finger on the A third, pinky on the D third. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an F major bar chord, and it sounds really happy. Now if you're just starting out and you're trying to avoid the bars, you could do the power chord idea, kind of the first finger on the low E first fret, third finger on the A string third fret for the F5. Or a good substitute for F can be F major 7, where you can do first finger on the B first fret, second finger on the G second, third finger on the D third. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds an F major 7. It sounds really groovy happy. Or you could use an F major 13, which could be very cool too. First finger on the G second, second finger on the D second, third finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third. So if you on those other voicings actually from the C major 9 to the F, that might make that a little bit easier for you. And then from the C, then we go back to our F chord, and then we got some more F, and then you hear this crazy cool, awesome chromatic bass line come out, where you could go low E on the second, third, fourth fret, and open A, first fret on the A, second on the low E, and then second on the A, first fret on the A, open A, 4 on the low E, third on the low E, second on the low E, first fret on the low E, open E, and then first fret on the D, open A, D, fourth fret on the A, and then third fret on the A string, and we do that 4 times. And then we go to second fret on the A. So it's a crazy cool little lick there at the very end, right after that F chord. So yeah, kind of a 2, 3, 4, oh, 1, 2, 2, 1, oh, 4, 3, 2, 1, oh, 1, oh, 4, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2. Kind of following those notes. And F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, F sharp, B, A sharp, A, G sharp, G, F sharp, F, D, D sharp, D, C sharp, C, 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 B. And you could accent that with some chords if you wanted to, and start on an F sharp major chord. Kind of doing, this is second fret bar, second finger on the G second, third finger on the A fourth fret, pinky on the D fourth fret. It's kind of an F sharp major chord. Or you could even take that idea actually and work it with power chords. And this could get really crazy. But you could do first finger on the low E second fret, third finger on the A fourth fret as an F sharp 5. And if you wanted to, you could even kind of follow that idea shape-wise, kind of F sharp 5 to a G5 to a G sharp 5, and then open A, so A5, and then A sharp 5, kind of first fret on the A, third finger on the D, aka B flat, and then back to the F sharp 5, and then B5, and B flat 5, A5, G sharp 5, G5, F sharp 5, F, E5, and then the D sharp you could do as a D sharp 5, or E flat 5, kind of first finger on the A6, third finger on the D 8th fret, into the D5, and the D flat 5, into a C5, into a B5. So if you wanted to, you could make that really thick. And I know this could be super challenging, but kind of F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, F sharp, B, A sharp, A, G sharp, G, F sharp, F, E, D sharp, B, C, try that, and that might be kind of cool. I think it's easier just to kind of follow the single notes. And especially on that last part, you may want to throw in the C chord or the C5, and then a big B chord at the end. I think that's how I would kind of play it out. So 2, 3, 4, oh. Last part. The option is yours. But if we tried that through the bridge, the weird part is our bass note for the D would be on the D string. Bass note on the low E would be the G would be the low E. On the A would be the A string. On the C we'd have the A string. On the F we'd have low E for the bass. Unless you're doing the F major 7, then you have the D for the bass. So all the way through that whole bridge, you have that D, part. There's lots of ways to embellish that too. And from there, then we'd be going into our next verse. So we're back to into our last chorus. So that right. C sharp minor, A, B, C sharp minor, on a big E major, very end. Or if on that last time through, if you're doing it on the power chords, you can have that E, A, and then kind of A for 4, B for 4, E major, kind of dig on that. But that's the basics of how you can strum through Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen. So good luck.